your dog on leash at a hiking place. Especially when it says to keep your dog on leash. Hi everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel. Or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you didn't already. I post every day of the week for a while, and today in this video I have a Knit With Me story time. I have a project right here, and today's Knit With Me story time is going to be the time which happened yesterday, is when I went hiking with my mom and her friend, and a lot of these people did not have their dogs on leash when they were supposed to have them on leash. And this was like super irritating for me and my mom, because not a lot of these people really seemed to care that their dogs weren't friendly, or if their dogs were friendly or not. So I literally was not too happy about that. So we did have to kind of make something up, spoiler alert, to let people know that our dogs were unfriendly. Just because we wanted people to understand that we weren't comfortable with being around a lot of people with their dogs on leash. So this is a story just to teach you guys, if a hiking place requires you to keep your dog on leash, you should always keep your dog on leash. I mean, I understand like dogs like to run around, but it's just important because there's either foxtails or it's just a safety hazard. So always follow rules to keep your dog on leash. And if you're not comfortable with keeping your dog on leash, then you probably shouldn't go to a hiking place where you have to keep your dog on leash, or maybe you should just follow the rules. Or if you're not comfortable with people running around with their dogs off leash, you should let people just say a thing like, my dogs aren't friendly, or blah, 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 blah. But always follow the rules. When a hiking place or some kind of place tells you to keep your dog on leash, you should always keep your dog on leash, and it's just a safety hazard. So I'm going to get started, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. So this all began yesterday. I went for a hike at a local hiking place with my mom, and we were walking, and I had we all had Humphrey, Mr. Pickles, and Dingus on the leash, on their leashes, and we go hiking. And as we're hiking, we're having such a fun time for a little bit, and then all of a sudden there were people coming with their dogs, and their dogs were not put on leash. And we were not comfortable with this because the hiking place required people to put their dogs on leash. And I don't know why people were just letting their dogs off leash. Maybe they didn't pay attention to the signs. I don't know. It was really weird. So nobody was so we kind of had to let people know that our dogs weren't friendly, just so they could put their dogs on leash. So there were some people that were okay with it. Some people that were not very polite about it. Some people actually took it personal. Some people were actually kind of rude about it, and they literally were irritated that were telling them that our dogs were not friendly. But we were trying to get people to understand that there are signs at this hiking place that that you need to keep your dog on leash. And we were following the rules. We had all three of our dogs on leash. But barely anybody who was who had big dogs, little dogs, nobody was following the rules of having the dogs on leash. And this was kind of irritating. I don't know why there were no rangers around or anything to let people know they had to leave the hiking place, but there were so many people walking by with their dogs off leash. I had to pick Humphrey up, my mom had to pick Dingus up, and my mom's friend had to keep the other dog on leash that wasn't friendly. So we were not too happy with this hiking experience, but despite that, we still had a really good time. We enjoyed the beauty of the nature, and we enjoyed walking. The only thing we did not enjoy was the fact that people were walking around with their dogs off leash, and they were not following the rules. And it was just very, very frustrating for us. But we still enjoyed our hike, despite the fact we had to keep telling our dogs were not friendly, so they could put their dogs on leash. But that did pretty much work to let people know that our dogs weren't friendly. So there were a lot of people actually putting their dogs on leash when we tell them that, which I did feel bad. We did have to kind of to let people know that. But people were like being more aware of it, so they started putting there were tons of people like either putting their dogs on leash, and some people gave us like a really rude reaction, or some people just gave us dirty looks. But we just wanted people to know they need to keep their dogs on leash because this hike, even though we don't work at this place, we were just letting people know that it's just a requirement and when you go hiking at this local place. Okay, so luckily we still enjoyed the hike, despite the fact there were so many people letting their dogs run loose on the hiking trail when they weren't supposed to be. So the moral of the story is, when you go hiking in a place that requires you to keep your dog on leash, you probably should follow that rule, because it's just a safety hazard, because not everybody has dogs that are friendly. There's probably like foxtails, which you don't want to get a vet bill for, or it's just a safety thing. You need to be super careful, because what if there's dangerous critters or mountain lions? So if you ever plan on taking your dog hiking, you should make sure that be aware if you have to keep your dog on leash or not, because it's just a safety hazard. So always pay attention to when you need to keep your dog on leash when you're going to a place that requires you to keep your dog on leash. So that was a frustrating story about how I went hiking with my mom and there were so many people not following the leash rule with their dogs. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video taught you that when you go hiking, you should always be aware of the signs of where you need to keep your dog on leash. You can't just let your dog run loose, because what if they go to jump on people? What if they're not friendly? And if you're not comfortable with it, you should just let people know that your dog is not friendly, even though it is friendly. You should just let people know your dogs aren't friendly, so then people can be aware and put their dogs on leash. I mean, it's just a good safety hazard, so always just make something up to let people know that they need to put their dog on leash. And then also politely remind them that this is a hiking place where you need to keep your dog on leash. Even though you're not trying to boss them around, you should let them know that they need to keep their dog on leash, because the hiking place requires you to keep your dog on leash. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post a video of the week for a while, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye! Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.